3 months before anyone noticed him, Tavin quietly closed on Willow Pines. No fanfare, no clipboard walkthroughs, just a man in a beat-up SUV showing up at odd hours. The place had age, sure, but it had soul too. Long-term tenants made up most of the units. Retirees, single moms, couples starting over. A place where people said hello in the parking lot but minded their own. Tavin didn't announce himself. He observed. He listened. He walked the grounds at dusk, learning the rhythms. Who left early, who stayed out late, who smiled, who didn't. A week after the purchase, he sat quietly through the Friday board meeting, not hiding, just listening. Concerns came up. Delayed maintenance, mail theft, a busted light no one had fixed in months. One woman, Carla, a single mom with 3 kids, spoke up. She feared the new owner might raise the rent. Tavin said nothing that night. Instead, he paid for repairs quietly and told management to keep the rent steady for 6 months. Carla reminded him of his own mother. 3 boys, 2 jobs, no time for complaining. He'd learned early that power wasn't about volume. It was about decisions. By the second month, people noticed subtle changes. Repairs happened faster. Trash areas got cleaned. Lights went up without anyone requesting them. But no one knew who was behind it. Tavin just kept showing up, reading by the pool, walking the lot. Ownership to him meant presence, not distance. Then came Tuesday. He just wanted 30 quiet minutes by the water. But then Celeste showed up, her tone sharp, her eyes suspicious. She asked who he was, pressed, almost called security. She didn't recognize him and assumed he didn't belong. He stayed calm. He'd faced worse, in boardrooms, airports, even at his own conferences. Misjudged by appearance, mistaken for security more times than he could count. But he'd learned to let the truth speak for him. So he showed her the deed, the name, the title. By then, eyes were on them. Half a dozen residents watched from balconies and chairs. Among them, Raymond Deakins, retired trucker, leaned over his railing. She picked the wrong one today, he muttered. Veronica Chase, a nurse, watched from her lounge chair, book forgotten in her lap. Celeste tried to recover. Well, no one told us anything. We weren't informed. You weren't, Tavin replied, but that doesn't excuse assumptions. Raymond chuckled up above. Man's got a point. Celeste scanned the crowd now watching her. I'm just saying, if we'd known, this wouldn't have happened. Tavin didn't move. You didn't ask. You assumed. There's a difference. That line stuck. Even the skeptical ones went quiet. It wasn't about status anymore. It was about the judgment she'd made and the way he'd handled it. Veronica stood, walked over. You okay? She asked. I am, Tavin said, then added, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Celeste started to speak, then stopped. The crowd said more than words could. A quiet nod from Lonnie, who fed the strays behind the maintenance shed, spoke volumes. So did the arrival of Sandra Wu in her golf cart, the property's longest tenured worker. She slowed to check in. Everything good here? Yeah, Tavin said. Just a conversation. Sandra gave a knowing smile and stayed parked, her presence grounding the moment. Celeste's posture shifted. She adjusted her purse strap, shifted her weight, trying to find an exit from the discomfort. I didn't mean any harm, she finally said. I'm protective of this place. Tavin nodded. You've been here a long time? 13 years. I look out for the rules. I respect that. But protecting a community doesn't mean policing unfamiliar faces. It means asking, not accusing. She swallowed her response. From above, Raymond called out again. Maybe it's time we all did less assuming. She flinched, torn between pride and realization. Tavin turned to the others. I didn't come looking for a scene, just peace. Miguel raised a hand. You handled that better than most. I've been angry before, Tavin replied. But sometimes people remember your reaction more than their own behavior. Sandra broke the silence. You need anything at your unit, Mr. Eldridge? Not today. Just enjoying the place like anyone else. Celeste crossed her arms. You could have said something sooner. He met her gaze. I didn't think I needed to. That hit deeper than anything else. He didn't know an explanation, but gave one anyway. More residents trickled in. A man walking his dog asked, Wait, he's the new owner? Raymond laughed. Yep. And Celeste tried to kick him out the pool. Taven lifted a hand. Let's not turn this into a show. This isn't about shaming anyone. It's about thinking twice.